If you can everybody see the screen? All right. Thank you for that. So today I want to just talk about what the Most High has put on my heart, uh, and I called it Mark Two, um, because we talked about being marked before. Uh, y'all may or may not remember. It's not anything that's on the channel, but I came from the perspective of showing some of the things that the world was doing with all the technology and trying to get us on one ID system and digital this and that, TV shows and movies about how they're um, programming, kind of getting everybody used to these things subconsciously before they bring this system in. And I wanted to go kind of with that as well again, but it's just so much that's happening, so many things that's going on. I couldn't really get a something that I felt was cohesive, I would say. Um, but this was also something that was going to be a part of it, and I was just looking at my notes to see if the Most High would trigger anything for me to bring out. And I had a few of these notes from like almost 4 years ago. I think the note said 2021, and all praises for that. And I just started on this journey with being marked from the Most High's perspective, before we go back into some of the like predictive programming type stuff. And I started in Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6. A lot of these things, phrases, will probably, not probably, they will be repeated. And, hopefully some things will be revealed to you all today, like I like to try to do, to show what Most High is teaching me. And so, Deuteronomy chapter 6, um, I'm going to start just at verse 1. Deuteronomy 6 and verse 1. Usually there is a main scripture that's on the screen. And let me get Lena. All right. All right. Deuteronomy 6 and 1. It says, "Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which Yahweh Yahweh commanded to teach you." So in chapter 5, he was going over a lot of the statutes and judgments that we know. Like you can see on the screen, the commandments: "Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make any graven images," etc., etc. So he's saying, "Now these are the commandments, the statutes, the judgments, which Yahweh have commanded you to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you are to go to possess it, that you mightest fear Yahweh the Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your son's son, all the days of your life, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yasher Allah, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Shemai, O Yasher Allah, Yahweh Elohanawa Akkad, Hero Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Adonai, or one Yahweh. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, your napash, and with all your might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sittest in your house, and when you walkest by the way, and when you liest down, and when you risest up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the post of your house and on your gates. You shall write them upon the post of your house and on your gates. Um, I did get a chance to ask a question to Tazabah, and I just wasn't 100% sure But a lot of the ish people, the imposters, they like to take like this little black box and I guess have written some of the commands on them and wrap them around their foreheads because of this verse. And I don't believe that that is a practice from our people. That seems to be a Talmudic practice, and we want to investigate this. Sign uh, upon your hand and frontlets between your eyes today. So, like we always do, or mostly try to do, we have a word here. We have a word here. Anybody have any guesses on what this word means? Anybody have any guesses on what this word means? As far as, let me say, not the breakdown. I mean, um, what is the English word for these characters? And the word here is ata, 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 or you could even say at, at. Anybody have any clue or any just a guess? Olivia, she said marked. Tazaba, he said sign. Anybody else? Okay, so we'll confirm in a second. Um, Based on what we know, what could some of these words mean? I mean, these now during the breakdown, what could some of the characteristics of like the first character ah, what could that be? Like I'll give one leader, leader, and you could
Strong, strong.
strong, strong is one absolutely. Um, Anybody else? See what we got in the chat. Um, Head, okay, yes, that is correct as well. Um, Head, like the head of something, can be meaning first, and Tazaba says strong. Um, Beginning, absolutely. Yep, that's good. Um, the next sign we have is representation of a sign. It's a representation of a mark, and it's the representation of a covenant. So the word here that has been said is sign. The word here is sign. Um, so it can be a sign, a token, an ensign, could represent miracle, and also could be mark. So both of you guys, in a sense, you both were correct. Sign or signal, a banner, a distinguishing mark, uh, to bring something to like remembrance, a miraculous sign, sometimes seen as an omen, a warning, a token, a standard, a miracle, a proof of something, a proof of something. Also, another one like a flag, a beacon, a monument, um, and again, or a mark. So, this is the word that they most commonly use for a sign, most commonly used for a sign. And I started getting really excited about this more and more as it went, and felt like, okay, yeah, we really got something here. So the word is again ata, and it really could just be at, but in spelling trying to match because we're in English, um, ah is almost like the sound that we pronounce out, but technically it could just be at, or like we say the word at. Um, so the word ata for sign. Anybody want to type in the chat or unmute and say what they believe it means? All right. We got one's embodiment or essence. One's embodiment or essence. Um, sort of. That's not like completely off base. Um, I think that's a little deeper, but that's not completely off kilter for sure.
You looking for the definition of a tie or something else?
The definition of a ta, which we're at, how we break it down. What would you guys think that some of these, what it mean?
Uh, I would say because of the ox head represents strength. He's one of the strongest animals on the farm, and then the mark, a strong mark or persistent mark.
Okay, Khan, and she says, Olivia says to be set apart or to be marked by the Most High. Um, both of those are correct. To be a strong mark or a strong covenant is definitely one. A strong sign is another as well. Is also the leader's mark or the mark of the covenant. So all of those are correct. It's a strong sign, a strong mark, um, a a permanent covenant, if you want to say, the leader's mark, the Most High's mark. So the Most High uh, is telling us to lay, therefore, Deuteronomy 11, he's kind of repeating, and he's saying, therefore, you shall lay these words in our hearts and in our napash, which is equated with desire, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. I think I wanted to read more. Let me see. 18. Yeah. So Deuteronomy 11 and 18. Therefore shall you lay up these my words in your heart and in your napash, your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them your children, speaking of them when you sittest in your house. So bring them to remembrance, which is one of the um, rare words that this can mean, a memorial or a remembrance. And when you walkest by the way, and you liest down, and when you risest up, and you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that your days may be multiplied. So we got to do this. We do this so that our days be multiplied, in the days of our children, in the land which Yahweh sware unto our fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. For if you shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you to do them, to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, then will Yahweh drive out all the nations from before you. The Most High will drive out all the nations from before us, and we shall possess greater nations and mightier nations than ourselves through this sign upon our hand. Every place whereupon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, and even to the uttermost sea shall your coast be. There shall be no man able to stand before you, and Yahweh your Elohim shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that you shall tread upon, as he hath said unto you. Before I set before you this day, behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside out of every way which I command you to go after other gods which you have not known. So the Most High is laying out the parameters again to the people, to us, to our forefathers and foremothers, and he's saying that we should have this sign upon our hand, and we keep this in the forefront between our eyes. Um, T, she said the word can also mean the first sign of the Most High, and that is absolutely correct also. So a sign upon thy hand, a sign upon your hand. In ancient times, marking or binding something to the hand could represent belonging to something. Like when you mark or brand the ox or your sheep or your cattle, it's marking that it belongs to you or whoever the shepherd is. So in this case, that sign upon our hand will mark belonging to Yahweh, right? And it also, the hand itself can represent our actions, our work, our deeds. And in this case, the Most High is letting us know that our actions, our deeds, our words, or our works should reflect his obedience and the words that he's given us, the sign upon our hand. His actions within our works, how we carry ourselves, how we treat one another, um, how we refrain from sinful deeds and things of that nature. And lastly, as well, it could be to show being marked by his covenant. Thou shalt not take the Most High's name in vain. Thou shalt not have any other powers before the Most High. You shall keep the Most High's Sabbath to keep it holy, which shows that we are marked by his covenant, which shows that we belong to him, right? Also, in ancient times, um, it's believed that making a covenant by oath or oath by cutting the hand or making a blood pact was common. Um, and it symbolized the seriousness of the agreement or the binding nature. Now, um, you don't have an exact scripture or anything here that says like, oh, Israelite cut their hand and shook another's hand to bind into an agreement, but we do have some context clues on how serious pacts and covenants were. And one of the words for covenant is barat, and it comes from a root meaning to cut, to cut. And we've talked about this before, but one of the witnesses is Genesis 15, when the Most High made the covenant with Abraham, that a lot of us like to share and to cycle through. The Most High had him cut the animals in half and pass through the pieces, basically symbolizing that if he didn't keep his word, then the Most High would do to himself as the animals had been done. So that shows how strong um, of nature that the covenant would be. So before we continue on with this, did anyone have any comments or questions so far? All right. Um, just real quick, Abraham, Genesis 15 and 9, it says, and he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards they shall come out with great substance. Um, so the Most High is making a pact here, a covenant um, with Abram, and he also provided him a sign as well, that the Most High was with him. So, some things that the hand in Hebrew could symbolize as being a part of an oath, like we do today, a handshake agreement, your word is bond, um, things like that. Um, And Khan, I definitely want to read this comment by Tazabah. He says, shows people don't understand our original language. Absolutely. All praise the Most High for you to help show us to how to use the resources and how to think, not what to think, but how to critically search things and ask questions. And that's like, so when you look at this word here in the lexicons, and then I try to go a step further, the lexicons is starting to use the Jewish traditions, even the search engines, the Googles, the chat GBTs. You still have to kind of know certain things because they're going to lead you to the most common information first. And a lot of people wanted to bring up the fact that the Jewish tie bands around their arms with commandments in them and tie them around their head. And it just shows a lack of, like you said, it's not literal laws tied to our hands. It says we show the works of the law. Absolutely. That is absolutely what I'm seeing here. And that's why I asked you that question yesterday, just to be sure, because we know our people have been either infiltrated, we know we got imposters, and we know even some of our own true people were, deceived as well, or wicked as well themselves, and were so far separated and removed um, that they didn't even understand some of the things that the Messiah was saying, and he's right there with them. So this is what I'm seeing, and I'm hopefully providing the witnesses to that. So it's not just me saying it; it's, we're providing substance to what we're saying. So like a handshake agreement that we do today. Like we said, in ancient times, it's not 100% certain that the Israelites practiced this, but in Eastern cultures, it was a practice to where, let's say, me and Tazaba Abijah came into a strong bond or a covenant about something specific. He would cut his hand and I would cut my hand, and then we would shake on it. Again, that's not 100% certain, but we do see, as I showed before, that um, there was cutting, and the Hebrew word for covenant can also mean to cut as well. So we have some circumstantial evidence that this could also be the case for the Hebrews as well, in addition to the Near Eastern cultures. And a handshake agreement, or this type of bond or pact like the Most High did with Abraham, it can signify a permanent commitment or something, significant. I think that's one of the first definitions that Tazabah Abijah said, like a permanent or strong commitment. Um, it also could be a promise or a pledge, as in, may my hand be cut off if I break this oath. And that part is what the Most High was doing or saying to Abram. If I don't keep my word of what I'm telling you about saving your people in the last days or the latter times, then then um, I will do to myself as you see these animals have been done. Um, Amanaya said, she said she believes David and Jonathan may have had an oath, and I'm not going to be one up here because I'm in front of everybody and act like I remember every single thing, because I do not. But I will go back and check and verify, or if someone else would like to verify, feel free. Um, and also it can be two becoming one through shared blood, and we can see that in a semblance of marriage. We know that the two shall become one through intimacy, but also in a figure of speech or metaphorical sense, two becoming one or becoming one through shared blood. If you think about it metaphorically, this will help us make more sense of when the Messiah said he wants us to be one with them or him as he is with his Father. That hit me last night. Us becoming one through shared blood, meaning we accepted his blood sacrifice to restore us back to the Father. That's why he said, quote unquote, uh, take this cup and drink this blood. But we know that we don't drink blood or eat blood or from, anything like that as a commandment. So we know that it's a figure of speech, but it makes sense. We are to become one and co-heirs with Yahweh Shai, two becoming one through shed blood, a sign upon thy hand, a mark, a mark, to be marked by the Most High, a sign upon your hand, sharing the Most High Son's sacrifice to be restored, as he has sent him to do, as we saw in Isaiah 49. So before we continue, I just want to make sure, so far, does anyone have any comments about this slide or anything that was said before? No problem. So going back to Isaiah 49, another witness to the engraving or the marking of the hand, or the cutting, the covenant, a sign upon thy hand. Isaiah chapter 49, which we read for the Kathab in the beginning, the Most High says in verse 15, can a woman forget her suckling child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. The Most High is saying, no matter what happens to us, no matter what happens to his people, all of the tribulations that we are to go through, that he said we would go through, he's not going to forget us. And he said, behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands, a sign on his hands. And your walls or dwelling places are continually before me. So all praises to the Most High for that. Uh, Keeping his people in his remembrance, marking us as a sign upon his hands, as we are to mark him and his commandments and his ways for a sign upon our hands. All the work that the Most High does with his hand, his son, Yahweh Shai, is for us. Thus, in turn, our works shall be towards the Most High. Does that make sense?
Not. And if I could, just I guess what y'all would call like an empirical witness, like um what you see time and time again, and how this world continues to prove, like the scriptures say, there's nothing new under the sun. You see it in movies all the time. Like if you're a Godfather fan, um, guys make blood covenants, what I'm saying, where they're cutting their hands and shaking on it, or, cutting themselves and, what I'm saying, inputting their blood, stamping blood on a sheet of paper or a contract. If somebody doesn't keep their word or something, their hands or a finger gets cut off, and this, like when you're speaking on this, like it hits home because I see this in movies all the time. And so, like we said, we know nothing's new under the sun. Where do they get this stuff from? So that's just what you're saying. I can see it vividly in my mind. So all praises for that. Good stuff.
All praises for you and all praises for that witness. I really appreciate it. And also, I did in my studies see something about um, sometimes in the covenant, yeah, like if we don't keep this agreement, you get your hand cut off, your finger. So I did see that too. So that's a great witness that you just brought out in a testimony. So all praises for that. It just shows the significance and the seriousness of these covenants that are being made and that we have already been attached to through the words of our ancestors as they got the blood sprinkled on them. So we in this thing, we in this thing regardless. We either just gonna receive the good benefits of it or we gonna receive the negative part, the curses or the blessings, life or death. We in this thing and we already in. So all praises, man. Nariah.
Khan, Shabbat Shalom. I'll be brief. You already kind of alluded to it in regards to what was on my mind when you were speaking in regards to the Most High engraving us on his hand. And I just started thinking about Yahweh Shai as far as him being the hand or the right hand of Yah, figuratively speaking. Uh, the text says, by his stripes, by his markings, if you will, we are healed. So when the Most High looks at his hand that was marked, i.e., his son, he remembers us and the covenant that he made with our fathers. So I just wanted to say that. All praise.
All praises, and that lets us know. See, that lets us know that we're on the right track. We're on the right path for you guys to be able to see that in your mind. This thing is all the Hebrew is functional, it's visual, it's concrete, it's not abstract like Greek is. So these things do have strong meaning, functionality, actual things that they do instead of just being like abstract agape type love, which really doesn't have much meaning in comparison to when you put actions behind it. So yeah, the son being his right hand and receiving the marks on his body in a figure of speech or metaphorically, that would be like the Most High's hands being marked because he sent his son, his hand, to deliver and save the people, and his son represents the covenant, the sign upon the Most High's hands. And that just makes all the sense in the world. So thank you, and to you and Zamaria for those comments. Ata. So again, the Most High, I want you guys to pay attention because I forgot to put this in here. Dang, but it's all right. But the Most High, he is the ultimate mathematician. The Most High is a person of rhythm, a power of patterns. The Most High doesn't have to change his patterns because he is the perfect. He's perfect in all his ways. So once the Most High sets out on a pattern or a rhythm, he doesn't have to change it if he doesn't want to. And time again, you see the Most High, like Moses, go up on the mount for 40 days. Yahweh Shai go into fasting for 40 days. You see like repeated patterns of these things. And I just want y'all to start keeping that in your mind as we're seeing this. So a a sign, a mark, it can also be a token, which we'll get into that as well. We're going to Ezekiel 9. Ezekiel chapter 9. And we talked about some of this before with the Yahushua being the door, Patak. But let's look at the pattern and the rhythm, of the Most High. So let's start. Let's just start at 1. It says, he cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Most High of Israel, Yasharallah, was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. If they're sighing and crying for the abominations that are being done, that is a correlation to these are the ones who regarded the Most High's ways, the Most High's commands, as they saw them being broken. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, and come not near to any man upon whom is the mark. Don't come near to any man or woman to whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. They began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, Defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain, go ye forth. And they went forth and slew the city. So the Most High is making a distinction. The Most High is making a distinction by setting a mark on those who are his, the ones who are crying for all the abominations in the city. And when we cry out, we usually cry out to the Most High. So it's like those praying, those suffering, those trying to endure and believing in the Most High's ways. Those people have been marked by the Most High. So if you could get your wheels turning and just start thinking, just think about the way the Most High moves, and you should start to notice a pattern. Not just the fact that it was Ezekiel 9 and now we're on Revelation 9, which this is English, so I can't really say, but it's just funny that the chapters mirror. But Revelation 9 is talking about judgment again. So let's see what the Most High is saying here. Revelation 9 and 1. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from the Shemayim unto the Arataza, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the Arataza, or the earth. And unto them was given power as scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green tree, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which not have the seal, or which have not the seal of God or Yah in their foreheads. So don't hurt the ones that have been marked. A sign upon the frontlets of your eyelids. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and in the frontlets of your eyelids. Hurt not those that have the seal of Yah in their foreheads. Y'all seeing that? Is making sense so far?
Khan,
All praises, all praises, all praises. The water. So the Most High, like I said, the ultimate mathematician. Once he creates an equation, the equation is perfect. And the Most High moves in patterns and in rhythms. So we got Ezekiel, which happened in the past. We have Revelation 9, which we believe is still to come. So the Most High will still be operating in the same vein that he always has. And then an even more ancient witness. I think Sister Olivia was getting her wheels turning. So in Exodus 11, when we go back to the Passover, now we know for our schedule, we've celebrated the Passover, but we are in what we sometimes like to call Passover season, as our people, since we've been lost and in captivity, we have different clocks, calendars, and schedules. And like Zamaria said, is a group that is going to be celebrating their Passover soon. So this is befitting of this time, as we remember the Passover anyway, and the Most High, what he did during that time. So let's start at Exodus 11, because to be marked can provide a distinguishment. Again, it can show ownership. To have a sign upon your hand, if I'm the strong leader or the leader's mark, Atah, and I see Zamaria, I go check on Zamaria. Zamaria has the sign upon his hand. It's between the frontlets of his eyes. I know Zamaria belongs to me. So I'm making a distinguishment here. So let's see what happens. So what happened. So just starting at verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Mashah, yet will I bring one plague more, the final plague, upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every one of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Mashah was very great in the land of Egypt, and in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Mashah said, thus saith Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, the land of bondage, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and the firstborn of the beast. Now this just hit me in my head, but let me get this first. So this just hit me. This just hit me in my mind. Let's read this again. Let's read this again. And Mashah said, thus saith Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn of the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and the firstborn of the beast. Just in case the Most High has revealed this to someone else, does that trigger anything in anyone's mind at all? I didn't have this in the class, and I didn't think about it until just now. Exodus 11, 4 through 5. And the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill. So what triggered in my mind is how the Most High, being the ultimate mathematician, the ultimate pattern maker, the master of rhythm, when Yahushua warned them in the book of Matthew, and he said, two shall be ground in the mill or in the field, and one shall be taken and another left. That's the same thing we see here. Because if you got two brothers and one was the firstborn, one would be taken and another left. One would be killed. And it's funny that I think this week I posted about that on my story. And I never seen this before. But it shows, just like with the flood that he compared it to. When the flood came, he took them all away, meaning they died. He killed them, right? Here he's saying, my final plague for Egypt, the firstborn of the maidservant, even behind the mill, the firstborn of the beast, one shall be taken and another left. So when Yahushua came and spoke to the people, he's repeating, the Most High is continuing the same pattern that he always has done. And wow, like I said, for me personally, that's something that I'd never seen before until now. But it proves more what I'm saying. The Most High he does these things in patterns and rhythms, and we still don't be getting it. But to me, that's absolutely amazing. Verse 6, and there shall be, let me read a comment here. Kaya said, wow, I was like, I knew it was something to do with the meal, but Khan, awesome comparison. The water for that. Verse 6, and there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore. Nor shall be like it anymore. So when the Most High brought his judgment upon us and said that we would be scattered into all nations and we will go through Jacob's trouble, I can't remember if it's on the class or not, on the channel or not, but I did a class showing how the Most High repeated this Jacob's trouble, and it started way back when they first got sent to Babylon, and it's continued. It's not something that's just to come. The height of it is to still, we're still going through and possibly to come. But if you go back and read and look at the words, even Daniel said and quoted how it was quoted pretty much that they were already going through Jacob's trouble, as it was something that the world had never seen. But I saw last night that even this, what the Most High is saying here, this judgment that was placed on Egypt, such there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore, in the sense of coming to one nation, one quote unquote country, and destroying all their firstborn. And we gotta Selah on that and think about that, because that is vicious. That is something. We see why he let them go, because that, if that wasn't proof, you just wake up and everybody's firstborn son is gone. Firstborn of the womb, the animals is just gone. That shows tremendous might and tremendous power of the Most High. So I definitely want to give the Most High his just due for that. Now, the importance of being marked is verse 7. But against any of the children of Yashar'Allah shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that you may know how that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptian and Yashar'Allah. So the Most High can bring that same judgment to America, the modern day Babylon, the modern day Egypt. And those that are marked, the Most High can have your next door neighbor fall out and die, and you protected, like Psalms 91. Because you got the sign upon your hand and in the frontlets between your eyes, a ta, showing that you belong to the Most High, right? So this mark the Most High has used to make a distinguishment between the ones who are his and the ones who are not. He's done it so far with the Exodus. He's done it in Ezekiel. He's done it or shown to do it in Revelations. Let's go over to the Passover in Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12. It says, "And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aharon in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year unto you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Yasharallah, saying, In the 10th day of this month shall they take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls, every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Yasharallah shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two sides post and on the upper doorpost of the houses wherein they shall eat it." So on both sides of our doorposts and on the top of the doorpost, they shall put the blood of the lamb, which signifies atah, a distinguishing mark, a sign. And it says, verse 8, "And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs shall they eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head and legs, with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth until the morning you shall burn with fire. Thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, and the shoes on your feet, and the staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Pesach, or Yahweh's Passover." 12. "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment, their leadership, their rulers. I am Yahweh. Yahweh, Ahaya, Yahweh. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever." So the Most High said, the blood on your door shall represent to you for a token, for a token. Almost like when you go to the if you go to a park, or certain parks like an amusement park or a fair, or a movie theater, you have to receive a ticket or a token that shows you belong, that shows you have free passage. And there's so many examples of how we use tokens even in modern society. But the Most High said that the blood on your door will represent a token, and the Most High will see the token and know to pass over you, a distinguishing mark, a separation between the two. And the word for token is the same as the word used for sign, atah. When I first saw that, I was like, whoa, like jumping for joy. But it's amazing how the Most High does these things. So continuing on, we're in the same vein. Zakar means to remember. Zakar means to remember. And it's just one chapter over. One chapter over. Exodus 13, 8 through 10. It says, and you shall show your son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which Yahweh did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be a sign upon, it shall be a sign unto you, son, upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that Yahweh's law may be in your mouth. So Yahweh's law being near unto us, Yahweh's law being in our mouth, will show that sign upon our hand. And it would be the memorial between our eyes, because what we speak on is what we think about. If that makes sense. For with a strong hand, Yahweh brought me, brought our ancestors out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep this ordinance in season from year to year. From year to year. Just even regarding this thing in your mind and in your heart is important. We know we don't know all the understandings or have all the capabilities to do all the physical acts. But let it be a memorial in between your eyes. Let it be for a sign upon your hand. Let Yahweh's law be near unto you, even in your mouth. Keep it as a remembrance, which atah can also mean to remember, or remembrance, like a memorial. One more example, then any comments. Same chapter, down to 14, he kind of is repeating this, and it says, and it shall be when your son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what is this? You shall say unto him, by strength of hand Yahweh brought us out of Egypt from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahweh slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of children, my children, I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon your hand, and for frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt. Atah. So before we continue on, it's like 3 slides left. Did anyone have any comments about the token so far, or the Most High speaking on, or even the pattern that we've seen of the Most High making a distinguishment between us and the Egyptians, between the righteous of Israel and the unrighteous who he sent the angel to slew, and then between those with the seal of Yah in Revelation and the abominable, how the Most High is separating those of his and destroying others. So any comments or questions about any of that? No problem. Continuing on, atah as a token. Atah as a token. The gold coin that we need to receive safe passage. A token, a sign, a mark. There are some examples here of tokens and using this word specifically as well. Just a couple witnesses of that. One is Genesis 9, 12 and 13. Genesis 9, 12 and 13. And this one is the covenant the Most High made with Noah. The Most High gave him a token to prove the covenant that he made with them. Verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And the Most High said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you, every living creature that is with you, for perpetual generations, forever. I do set my bow in the clouds, the rainbow, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the clouds. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the water shall no more become a flood to destroy the earth. And the bow shall be in the cloud, which I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between the Most High and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And the Most High said in verse 17, the Most High said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all the flesh that is upon all the earth. So the Most High made a covenant, and then he gave him a sign. He gave him a atah. He gave him a mark. He gave him something to, like a memorial to see and to look upon for remembrance. He gave him a token, which is, in this case, when we look outside and see the rainbow, we remember that though we may just have had rain or storm, that the Most High is not flooding the earth and to bring it to destruction again. Token can also be used as a promise, a sign or promise of deliverance. And that's Exodus 3 and 12. And he says, certainly I will be with thee. Certainly I will be with thee. And this shall be a token unto you that I have sent. When you have brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve the Most High upon this mountain. So he was giving Moses a surety. He was giving Moses a token. The golden ticket, the golden coin, straight from the Most High himself. He's giving you a covenant. He's working with you and dealing with you. And then he's so gracious, he's giving you a sign of a surety. So all praises to the Most High for that. The last witness for this is Psalms 86. Psalms 86. Psalms 86 and 17. Starting at 16, it says, O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give your strength unto your servant and save your son and save the son of your handmaid. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because Yahweh has hoped in me and comforted me. Because Yahweh has hoped in me and comforted me. Naham Yah, to be comforted by Yah. So the Most High, he's saying, may I have a sign, may I have a symbol of your favor, a token, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because they know that the Most High is with me. So all praises for that. Also, it's the same pattern, the same thing that we see here, to have the mark to be in our minds. If you remember, we talked about Sham. Sham can also be a mark. So here in the book of Revelation, it's talking about making a distinguishment, like we've been talking about, a distinguishment of the set apart among the set apart. the 144,000 out of all the tribes of Yasharallah. And he says, I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. So the Most High is continuing to talk about, from the very beginning, having the mark as frontlets between our eyes, signs upon our hands. This is a complete difference between receiving the mark of the beast system, which is the direction I originally was going to go. Because if we have the mark of the beast system, we move and we're operated by the beast. We're motivated and we are feared to move when they say get this shot or get X, Y, and Z in order for you to buy or to sell, in order for you to operate in the society. Don't think that they're done with that plan or that practice, as we went through a test run stage the last couple years back. So to be opposite of that is to remember the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, his ways, to operate in them, to have it as a sign upon our hands, to have it as a mark on our foreheads, to receive the Most High's mark and not the mark of the beast system. Thank the Most High, we did have a good brother, just for a testimony example, Montel and his fam. For some reason, I want to say Montez, but his family, you know, he was trying to get a job, and it was in the heat of everything going down with the pandemic, and you know, he refused to take the shot or whatever, and they didn't hire him, and he had just moved and I think sold his house or moved from where he was staying, and made a whole big leap and jump in his life, but he still moved and operated by the Most High's ways. And he could tell the story better than me, but I know he ended up volunteering to coach or help in any way he could at his old school. And long story short, in the end, he ended up becoming hired as a part of the coaching crew, the coaching staff, and you know, working at the school, and you know, being able to actually fulfill the purpose that the Most High really meant for him to fulfill in the first place. So that is a great witness and testimony. Hopefully one day he can reshare it with you all, that he stood 10 toes for the Most High, and he was blessed because he had the Most High's ways written on the frontlets of his eyelids, and the Most High as the sign upon his hand. And the Most High made a distinguishment between him and saved his family and provided for his family. So all praises to the Most High for that. Like Amanaya said, access granted. All praise the Most High. Absolutely. So before I bring out the last part that hit me seeing this, which is just absolutely amazing to me, hopefully it is to y'all, just anything that we've seen or said just now or before, did anyone have any comments, precepts, or anything they wanted to share? So I want to ask y'all a question. Seeing this word for sign, atah, or if you want to say at, atah, does this trigger anything in your mind that you've heard in terms of the Bible, in terms of the Most High, or anything like that? Atah, atah. And the Most High has been telling us this from the start.
I am the first and the last.
I am the first and the last. I said, oh my goodness. The Most High been telling us the whole time. The Most High been telling us the whole time. Revelations chapter 1. I covered this before, using the first 5 chapters of Revelation to show there is no Trinity, and to show who this revelation really is from. So I won't do that today. But if I know we do have newer people, and I know, people sometimes we need a refresher. So in the future, I can do that. Um, but the main point here is atah, the beginning and the end. The Most High. I said, man, it's the same word for a mark, same word for a sign, same word for a token. And we've seen all the ways that the Most High uses this for our benefit, to save us and to help us. But he was telling us more than one thing. He's telling us more than one thing with these words. He's telling us so much. And verse 8. So just so y'all know, this is Revelation. It says the revelation of Jesus Christ, or Yahweh Shai. I'm not going to give all the witnesses. We're wrapping up. This is the last slide. But it's not Christ's revelation. It's Yahweh's revelation. The revelation of Hamashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him. So if I gave it unto you, then it's mine. I gave it unto him to show unto his servants, which is us, things which must come shortly to pass. And he sent and signified atah by his malak unto his servant Yachanan. So the Most High sent the messenger to give the word that he wanted us to have, and he signified it, marked it, sent the token atah by Yahweh Shai. It says in 8, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That's Greek. He's saying, I am the Ah and the Ta. Ahaya Awa Ta. I am Atah. I am the sign. I am the mark. I am the token. I am the one who exists, Yahweh. Ahaya Awatah, the beginning and the end, saith Adonai, which is, and which was, and which is to come, Al Shaddai, or Allah Shaddai, the Almighty. Man, verse 11, just to help y'all out in case y'all feel any type of confusion. He's repeating it in 11, and then what I wanted to get. Is that it? Okay, yeah. So when you go down to see like 17, it's said again, or said similar. So let me start at 13. It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with his garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, and white as snow, and his eyes were as flames of fire, and his feet as like fine unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying, Fear not, I am the first and I am the last. I am he that liveth and was dead. So you know that this description is describing Yahweh Shai and not Yahweh right here. Because Yahweh can't die and has never died. So I am the one that lives and was dead. Behold, I am alive forevermore, and I have the keys of hell and death. You got the token. Atah. When he says for one, that kind of covers it. But when he says, I am the first and the last, we know that Yahweh is the first and the last. But Yahweh Shai is the firstborn of all creation. He's the first. Yahweh Shai is the last to have all rulership, power, and dominion in the Arataza, or in the earth, because it was given to him by his Father. He is the first of all creation, and he is the last to rule. Atah, Yahweh Shai. So, family, I hope that was powerful for you all, or registered in your mind. Obviously, you can review this. You can take it further. You can Selah on it, study it, and I pray that it makes sense to you all, or to the person who watches this in the future. So this was Atah, the Most High's mark, the leader's mark, the mark of the covenant. And we know that our covenant can be summed up in what we see on the stones. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make any graven images. Thou shalt not take the name of Yah in vain. Remember the Shabbat to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And thou shalt not covet things from thy neighbor. Love Yahweh and love your neighbor as yourself. Upon these two hang all the Most High's word, laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's it, family. Marked Atah. So with that, family, did anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns about this class? Again, I do pray that it was registered with you all, and I pray you continue to review, and may the Most High continue to peel back the layers of his words to us. And it really shows, and it really does make a difference when we research and learn the Hebrew characters, and it just makes the Most High's words that much more powerful. Go ahead, Tazabah.
All praise to the great I am. This was a wonderful, wonderful study. I'm sitting here just on cloud nine spiritually, because can you pull Matthew 13 for me? Matthew 13 and 17.
Mm-hmm. Matthew 13 and 17. It says, and it says, for verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them.
All praises to the great I am. This verse came to mind because one of the greatest hurdles of our ancestors, they really couldn't receive Messiah, and partially because the Most High blinded their eyes, but also because they had fallen away from the ancient paths. And just this language, taking this time to really reconnect to our cultural roots, is so important, and that's why we stress it, because many of our ancestors, they really wanted to receive Messiah, but they couldn't. But when you learn the cultural text and the glyphs, you see Messiah from beginning to end. So I'm on cloud nine. This is really one of the classes we should have been in our bayat, so we can run around and wave the flag and dance and have praise breaks, because this is, you may not realize it, this is very, very spiritually deep things that we're seeing. The Most High is back with us. So I'm on cloud nine. I'm going to continue to search for our next bayat. Most High be with us. But this is definitely all praises to the Most High, and also this bears witness while we go through so many battles. This understanding that He's blessing us with, and the lives that we're reaching, it is, it's just a testament. The Most High is good, but it's also the exact reasons we go through the spiritual warfare. So I'm on cloud nine. All praise to the great I am. I pray you guys understand the magnitude of the Most High being back with us. So it's all praises to the Most High, y'all.
All praises and Thawada for that witness and confirmation. Um, and definitely keep me in prayers. Like you said, it's easy to forget sometimes why you go through certain things, but then you got to remember all the things the Most High is revealing and showing. Um, of course, there's going to be trials and tribulations through that. So definitely keep me in prayer and covered for those things. But like just commenting on what you said, I literally, I think it was, so when I seen the word, first I had the some of the precepts, like three or four of, like maybe like four of them, 4 or 5. And I was like, okay, I got these. And then I started reading like what I want to do here with this. And I said, well, what word right here is he using for like a sign? When I seen the word for a sign, I'm like, wow. First, I'm like, is that an I? So I verified all that. Then I checked, and I was like, man, the first thing that hit me was I am the Alpha and the Omega, quote unquote. I am the first and the last, the I and the Ta from Revelation. I'm like, oh, so I thought that was it. And then when I seen all these phrases going through, like providing the witnesses, and then he started talking about a token. So then I started reading about the token. I said, well, let me check the word for token. And it was the same word. I literally jumped through my phone, jumped up, and I was just like, wow. I just started pointing up to the sky like I hit a home run, like Sammy Sosa. Um, and I agree with you when you said that y'all would have felt it a lot more in person, because I mean, it to me, it was very revealing, and especially to see how the Most High has used this over and over and over, and He already showed us in the future to have this sign on us to help us, to deliver us. So all praises for that, man. I appreciate those words, Zamaria.
Yes, sir. All praises to the Most High, man. All glory to Him, and honor to His Son as well. Um, I wanted to say something as you were closing out, and didn't know quite what I wanted to say, and then all glory to the Most High, man. That Tazabah Abijah got up and he had spoke and he had said something that triculated with me. He said, talked about our eyes being open and how it's a privilege to see this stuff, man, and to even be coming back to the language and stuff like that. And then he talked about this is why the battles we go through, man. It's just like, man, sometimes it's like, man, I can picture myself being on a beach and getting hit with a tidal wave, and then the water recedes, and then you get up and you try to get back on the journey again, and then another one hits you. That's what this walk kind of feels like sometimes. And so to hear Mariah bring that up, man, and then to hear this word come through you today, it's just like it makes that journey on the beach getting hit by them waves, it makes it worth it. You know what I'm saying? So, and just to see you, my dude, continue to press each and every week, man, I see how it's growing you and it's pushing you to a better place, man. And that inspires me. You know what I'm saying? So this word, I know you said that when it hits you, you know what I'm saying? That when it hits you, when that revelation hits you, bro, listen, it probably you probably can't hear the feel the effect or see the effect that it's having on us because we're not together in the class, brother. But the way when it came out of you, bro, it hit me. I don't know how it hit you because I wasn't there personally, bro, but it was like a fire that hit me, bro. So I just want to give all glory to the Most High for your obedience, man, and for you to continue to push, man. I can see, and all praise to the Most High for, we all know it started with him, and then he used Abijah. I can see the things that he's taught us, man, that you're taking it, you know what I'm saying? And bro, it's just being a blessing to others, man. It's just like a trickle effect, man. And I'm just grateful again, man, to be a part of this assembly, man. Not saying that we're the most special or nothing like that, man. But this is truly a Yah ordained place, man. And I just want to encourage you, brother. Keep on pushing, man. Don't stop. This is being a blessing to me. I don't know about nobody else, but it's been a blessing for me. Life changing, life saving words, man. And I'm edified today, brother, and I appreciate your obedience, man. I'm grateful to the Most High for you.
Phew. All praises to the Most High for that, man. All praises to the Most High for you all. I definitely appreciate the encouraging words. I mean, I be stunned over here, bro. I'm just a regular person, and the Most High, I don't even really watch. I haven't watched like when I first started. I used to watch everything. I used to have religious or Israelite classes on like Netflix. I don't even really watch anything like that anymore. Like I'll watch when I'm at home. I'll watch Tazabah's class and things like that. But I don't even really watch classes and stuff anymore. And I just let the Most High deal with me. Now, if it's something very, very specific that I need, I'll look it up or maybe see someone's perspective. But um, I really don't see a lot of things like this, and I'm not trying to boost or anything myself. I'm just saying that I can't believe that the Most High is allowing me to see these things. So I appreciate the Most High, and because it's hard, be like, oh yeah, the Most High is speaking to me or He's showing me something. Um, but when you diligently seek, He will definitely reveal things to you. And seeing these things, man, and having these things be revealed is absolutely amazing to me. And I'm glad that it is uh, transferring over to you. Uh, I think Nariah showed me a text message from somebody in his family, and they were asking us how do we learn Hebrew, and they were very excited, and whether they catch the replay or live, they want to keep tuning in. And I think it's somebody that was newer to the walk as well. And I think Kaya, she was telling me how she appreciates the messages and the lessons that's being learned. And I didn't forget about that Apple Books thing that you were telling me about, to help people be able to access the PowerPoints and stuff like that. But I'm just glad to be able to Most High see fit for me to do the work and to help others. It's very humbling for sure, and it's not always easy, but I'm glad the Most High gave me strength to continue on, and we can all uplift and help each other, because that's what it's all about. So all praises for that. Um, she said, I was watching the older ones on YouTube loud in my house, and my grandmother was listening to it. And the next thing you know, she asked me to buy her an Apocrypha. So all praises for that, man. Like, I don't even, it's funny. I think the Most High prepped me for this my whole life, but I hate listening to myself talk. So it's hard for me to go back and watch the classes myself sometimes. Like, I guess it's one of those self-conscious things that I have. But I'm just glad I just do it and don't think about what others might think or what others might say. I just do the work, regardless of like my own fears or self-conscious things. So all praise to the Most High for strength. I think Amaniah said something that I did want to make sure I didn't forget. 1 Samuel 18. 1 Samuel 18. I see verse 3 says, Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, and even his sword, and his bow to his girdle. So I don't know if it's a specific verse, but they definitely made a covenant between one another. You could type in the chat if there was anything specific you wanted to say about it, but I just didn't want to skip over it. I had saw it earlier. All right. So if there's nothing else, family, I will let you guys go on and enjoy the rest of your Shabbat day. And, may the Most High be with you.